Coming up on Mountain News this morning, a community is in shock after a recent deadly shooting outside of several businesses. And a new executive order wants to give power back to coal miners by allowing older plants to keep firing.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning, I'm Amelia Lee here with you on this Wednesday, April 9th, and the time is now 5:31 this morning, which means it's time for us to check on in with meteorologist Megan Dusmall today. And Megan, it was kind of a chilly start, not too bad. I did have a huge coat on because one thing you need to know about me, I lose every jacket I own, every pair of sweatpants I own. I misplaced them all. So
yeah, and gloves. I remember you lost gloves not too long ago. But I mean, today might be one of those days where you want to grab those gloves because this morning it's cold. I know when I headed out this morning, I could barely touch my steering wheel because of how cold it was. I needed to let it warm up a little bit more. Here is what you can expect. We're mainly sitting in the upper 20s and low 30s, right at that freezing mark in Jackson, 32 degrees. Warmer than freezing in Monticello, 36, but that is still very chilly, seeing 25 degrees in Clintwood. This afternoon, we will be warming up, thankfully, to the 60s. This is much needed after yesterday's high temperatures in the 40s. We're looking at around mid-60s, some places in the low 60s, upper 50s for Moorhead and Logan. Here's a look at satellite and radar this morning. All is clear, not even a single cloud in the area or precipitation. We'll keep that trend for a little bit. But we do have another rain chance in the forecast tonight going into tomorrow. Here's a look at the next 12 hours. We'll be looking at mostly sunny skies with sunny skies in the afternoon and the clouds rolling in before, again, that rain chance makes its way into the forecast tonight. Amelia.
Thank you, Megan. Kentucky State Police in Pikeville were called to a deadly shooting on Saturday. It happened off Highway 319 in the Belfry community. When troopers arrived, they found 30-year-old Greeley Hurley with deadly gunshot wounds. Officials say it appears the wounds came after a physical argument between Hurley and 57-year-old Paul Coleman. Now workers in the area remain on edge while they wait for what's next.
We had some girls that were here late that night that had left just an hour or so before all of this had happened. It's unnerving to know that something like that could happen so close to home, so close to where we work.
Workers of the salon added new safety precautions because of the incident. Kentucky State Police say Hurley was pronounced dead at the Tug Valley ARH. No charges are filed, but the case will be presented to a grand jury. A man is facing charges after being accused of firing multiple shots inside a home. It happened Saturday at a home in Elkhorn City. According to an arrest warrant, Keegan Shofa shot and injured a man before leaving the scene. He was charged with first-degree assault. A former Pike County volunteer fire chief is sentenced to 1 year in prison for theft of public funds. It started when Christopher Chapman applied for grants affiliated with the American Rescue Plan Act. According to his plea agreement, Chapman began another company and did not let members of the Blackberry Volunteer Fire Department know he could get fire safety equipment. Chapman is also ordered to pay nearly $77,000 in restitution. A Whitley County man is under arrest after reportedly setting 2 vehicles on fire at an apartment complex. 63-year-old Tony Knuckles is accused of intentionally starting the fire on Monday that damaged 2 vehicles. He's currently charged with third-degree arson. He could face as many as 10 years in prison if convicted. The case is still under investigation. The Somerset Police Department says there are reports of a scammer in the area. They say a person impersonating officers is demanding payment to drop charges or dismiss an arrest warrant. And here are the tips from police if you do get a call. First, ask the caller's name, agency, badge number, and contact information. Next, stop speaking and end the call. And then call the Somerset Police Department to verify information from the caller. Well, it could be a comeback for coal miners and the coal industry. President Donald Trump's long promise to boost what he calls beautiful coal-fired power plants and for other uses. Using his presidential powers, he said he aims to keep the promise. Amber Philpott reports.
With miners alongside, President Donald Trump vowed an end to a war on coal.
The value of untapped coal in our country is 100 times greater than the value of all the gold at Fort Knox. And we're going to unleash it and make America rich and powerful again.
Under the orders, President Trump used his emergency authority to allow some older coal-fired power plants set for retirement to keep producing electricity. The goals? Meet rising U.S. power demand, promote coal and coal technology exports, and to accelerate development of coal technologies.
Our electric cooperatives in Kentucky understands the importance of reliable, affordable, and American-made energy, especially coal and natural gas.
The head of East Kentucky Power Cooperatives was invited to the White House to share the stage with the president.
Too many government leaders have pushed policies that have made our electric grid significantly less reliable and our energy too expensive.
The president's actions targeted regulations under former President Joe Biden's administration.
And we're going to give a guarantee.
Without any specifics, President Trump says his orders have safeguards to protect investments in coal should the next president want to undo them.
That if somebody comes in, they cannot change it at a whim. They cannot just they're going to have to go through hell to close you up.
In 2000, there were more than 600 licenses for coal miners in Kentucky. At the start of this year, there were just 119 licensed mines, and the number of employees dropped from more than 19,000 in 2001 to less than 5,000 in 2024. Many Republican lawmakers praised President Trump's move yesterday, while the Kentucky Sierra Club said it could increase electricity costs and worsen health impacts. Health officials report a second child in Texas died from the measles. Luckily, there have been no measles-related deaths in Kentucky, but there was one confirmed case of measles in February in the Commonwealth. Public Health Director Scott Lockard says it is important to know about the mumps, measles, and rubella vaccinations.
Therefore, it is an important discussion for everyone to have with their primary medical provider, their medical home. They need to have that trusted physician that has the information.
Lockard says measles was declared pretty much eradicated in the year 2000. The East Kentucky Diabetes Symposium is set to take place later this week. The event will be Friday at Primary Care Centers of Eastern Kentucky and Hazard. It will run from 9 until 4:30. Some of the speakers include Barry Martin, CEO and founder of Primary Care, and Eric Friedlander, who is the Secretary of Kentucky Cabinet for Health and Family Services. An injured hiker was rescued thanks to the SOS feature on her iPhone and the Wolfe County Search and Rescue Team. The woman injured her leg near Coppers Creek waterfall last Saturday. The team was able to find her after she gave dispatch her coordinates. The crew treated her and carried her down the creek to the trailhead. Officials encourage people with iPhones to check out the SOS feature because in this case, it was the only resource the hiker had to get any assistance. The date for this year's Cuffs and Hoses Block Party 5K 10K was announced. Members of the Pikeville Police Department posted on Facebook that the event is set for August 9th. The event runs from 4 until 10 in the evening. There will be food trucks and vendors as well as music. The event will be at the Mountaintop Media Stage in Pikeville. Registration is open for the event. Details, you can go to the Pikeville Police Department's Facebook page. When we return, college athletes are not only adapting to their game, but the business side of ball and the world of NIL.
And you can enjoy another dry day, but more rain chances pop up tonight.